Our senior citizens are among Jamaica's most valuable assets, possessing a wealth of knowledge, experience, and skill. As the population ages, it is our national duty to protect their health, safety, livelihoods, and dignity. To this end, a working committee has been actively developing standards to establish the foundation for the care and protection of our elderly. We aim to issue to Jamaica drafting instructions for the elder care legislation by the end of this financial year. That will be instrumental. This year, Mr. Speaker, we will prioritize conducting an organizational review for the institutional strengthening of the NCSE, which is the National Council for Senior Citizens. Our goal is to equip it with the additional resources needed so that it can effectively provide critical services to our seniors, and this will be a priority in this financial year. Additionally, we are empowering our seniors 60 and over through expanded learning opportunities. The NCSE, in collaboration with Heart NSTA Trust, trained recently 43 senior citizens in digital literacy, including online banking, cyber safety, and the service application usage, and all of these seniors earned certifications from City and Guilds. In addition, Mr. Speaker, through support from the Universal Service Fund, all graduates will receive either a laptop or a tablet to further their digital literacy skills. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, this government implemented the social pension program. This is a program that enhances support to Jamaicans over 75 years old who have no pension and are not on path and lack steady incomes. Mr. Speaker, this program aims to ensure that these seniors can age with dignity, security, and independence. It is a support. This is a part of our broader commitment to building a just society that cares for every generation. Now, to strengthen this support, Mr. Speaker, we will begin to transition eligible elderly beneficiaries from PATH automatically to social pension program. That transition will see them receiving a 100% increase in the benefit. And we are also improving access to benefits while safeguarding the program's sustainability, always balancing, Mr. Speaker, compassion with fiscal responsibility. Moving quickly to the National Insurance Scheme. Mr. Speaker, we recognize the ongoing challenges that pensioners face. I receive several handwritten letters from our pensioners, and I treasure them. Several across the country have explained to me their concerns with the life certificates. In response, we are working with the ICT authority to launch the AmAlive mobile and web applications. This will utilize facial recognition technology and provide proof of life, and certainly is going to reduce the need for our pensioners to travel to parish or out of parish or to the post offices. However, Mr. Speaker, there are some pensioners who write to me and indicate that they want to travel, and that experience may not mean a lot to you, but when they get a chance on the month to pick up at the post office or to go to the office, it's something they treasure, and we don't want to take that away from them. Not from you, Fitz. For those who prefer traditional methods, paper-based and email submissions will continue to be accepted for now. The NIF, Mr. Speaker, the National Insurance Fund. Now, as at March 31, 2025, the National Insurance Fund boasts an increase, I said, an increase in the net asset value from approximately 194 billion in March 2024 to $227 billion in March 2025. Mr. Speaker, good management, good government. This represents a 17% increase over last year. And in light, hear me now, hear ye, in light of the performance of the NIF and based on the recent actual review, I am pleased to announce to Jamaica that all National Insurance Scheme pensioners will receive an increase in their benefits.